August 15th, 1977, at the Big Ear Radio Telescope in Ohio. Astronomer Jerry Ehman is doing what he always does, sifting through mountains of data from a routine scan of the cosmos. His pen moves across the printouts, checking for anything unusual. Suddenly his eyes lock onto a sequence of alphanumeric codes printed on the page. 6EQUJ5. He stops. The numbers and letters represent a signal so powerful, so statistically impossible to be random noise, that he grabs a red pen, circles the sequence, and in the margin he writes a single monumental word that would echo through history. Wow! This 72-second burst of energy, originating from the constellation Sagittarius, remains the single strongest, clearest candidate for an extraterrestrial signal ever detected. It was a whisper from the void that shouted for our attention, and then fell silent. We had never heard it again. What was it? Was it our first hello from an alien intelligence, or just a cosmic ghost in the machine? Today we peel back the layers of the greatest mystery in the search for life beyond Earth. The Big Ear Telescope wasn't just pointing randomly at the sky. It was a key instrument in the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, or SETI. Its mission was to listen patiently to the universe, specifically tuning into what scientists call the cosmic waterhole. This is a quiet, protected band of the radio spectrum where hydrogen, the most common element in the universe, naturally emits a signal. It's the frequency where any intelligent species might choose to broadcast, like a universal calling card. The logic is simple. If you want to be heard across the galaxy, you'd use a frequency everyone is already familiar with. And that's exactly where the wow signal appeared. It hit the cosmic bullseye, peaking at a frequency of 1,420.4556 megahertz, tantalizingly close to the hydrogen line. But it wasn't just the frequency that was so stunning. It was the signal's sheer power and structure. The alphanumeric code 6EQUJ5 wasn't random gibberish. It was a shorthand for the signal's intensity. Each character represented a step up in strength compared to the background cosmic noise. The number 1 meant it was just as loud as the background hiss. By the time you get to the letter U, the signal was a staggering 30 times louder than the ambient noise of space. It was like hearing a clear, piercing whistle in the middle of a quiet library. This signal was also what's known as a narrowband signal. Think of it like this. Natural radio sources like stars or galaxies broadcast over a wide range of frequencies, like a floodlight. But an artificial signal, one created by technology, would likely be focused on a very narrow band, like a laser beam, to conserve energy and cut through the noise. The wow signal was incredibly narrow, precisely what theorists predicted an engineered transmission would look like. And then there was its duration. The signal rose in intensity, peaked, and then faded away over exactly 72 seconds. This perfectly matched the Big Ear Telescope's fixed listening window. The telescope was stationary, so as the Earth rotated, its field of view would drift across a patch of sky for 72 seconds. The signal's perfect rise and fall profile showed that whatever was broadcasting it was a fixed point in space, being scanned by the telescope as our planet turned. This wasn't static. This wasn't a glitch. This was a textbook example of a signal from deep space. As you can imagine, the scientific community was electrified. Jerry Ehman himself was cautiously ecstatic. He and his colleague, Robert Dixon, immediately began trying to find it again. They pointed the big ear back to that exact spot in Sagittarius, listening with bated breath. Nothing. They tried again the next night, and the next. In the following months and years, they scanned that patch of sky over 50 more times. Total silence. The news spread, and soon other, more powerful telescopes around the world joined the hunt. The very large array in New Mexico, the Parkes Observatory in Australia, everyone wanted a piece of the mystery. They all pointed their dishes to the region near the star system Chi Sagittarii, the signal's apparent origin. The result was always the same, a profound, deafening silence from the cosmos. The signal had vanished as quickly as it had appeared. It was as if someone had shouted a single word across a crowded stadium and then disappeared into the crowd forever. With no repeat signal, scientists had to consider other possibilities. Could it have been a natural phenomenon? The leading natural explanation was a passing comet. Comets are surrounded by huge clouds of hydrogen, which could, in theory, emit a radio signal. In 2017, one team proposed that two comets which weren't catalogued back in 1977 were in the right patch of sky. The problem? When astronomers pointed a modern radio telescope at one of those comets, they found nothing. Furthermore, comets typically emit on a much broader frequency than the narrow-band WOW signal. The explanation didn't quite fit. What about something closer to home? A secret military satellite, perhaps, or a stray weather balloon? This is the skeptic's choice. The frequency of 1420 megahertz, however, is internationally protected. It's a quiet zone reserved specifically for radio astronomy. No terrestrial or orbital transmissions are allowed there. While it's not impossible for a classified piece of technology to have been operating there, declassified documents and extensive searches have never turned up any evidence of a human-made source that could have produced such a powerful focused signal from that direction in space. Every terrestrial explanation has, so far, led to a dead end. This leaves us with the most compelling, and for many, the most exciting theory. It was an extraterrestrial beacon. The signal fits the hypothetical profile of a deliberate, powerful interstellar transmitter. Perhaps it was a lighthouse from an advanced civilization, sweeping its beam across the galaxy. We just happened to be in the right place at the right time for 72 seconds as the beam washed over our solar system. The silence that followed could mean the beacon isn't constantly aimed at us, or that it operates on a cycle, so long we haven't seen its return. It could also mean something more sobering, that the civilization that built it ceased transmitting, or perhaps ceased to exist. Of course, there is one last, less exciting possibility. A one-time technological glitch. It's conceivable that a freak malfunction in the Big Ear's own systems generated a perfect but completely false positive. Yet for a glitch to perfectly mimic the characteristics of a real deep space signal, the narrow bandwidth, the 72-second duration matching Earth's rotation, the incredible strength, is almost as statistically unlikely as the signal itself. The system had been running for years without such an event, and never had one again. The hardware was checked and rechecked. No fault was ever found, and so the WOW signal hangs in scientific limbo. It is the ultimate cosmic teaser. It's more than just a string of data on a dusty printout. It is the heart of the Fermi paradox, the great cosmic question of where is everybody, given a voice for just 72 seconds. It taught SETI scientists a brutal but valuable lesson. The universe is vast, and a message might not be a continuous broadcast, but a fleeting, once-in-a-lifetime event. Jerry Ehman, a simple annotation on his notepad, has become a modern Rosetta Stone that we still can't decipher. No natural explanation has ever been fully satisfactory, yet the artificial one, the extraterrestrial one, lacks the definitive proof of a repeat signal. It remains on the thrilling, frustrating edge of human discovery. A single page torn from a book we may never get to read. So what do you think? Was the wow signal our first brief hello from another intelligence out there in the dark? Or was it just an incredibly rare cosmic coincidence? Let us know your theory in the comments below. And if you enjoy journeys to the edge of the known and the unknown, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.